What defines greatness in the 100 meters? In this video, we break down two incredible performances: Fraser-Pryce at her peak and Jackson on her return. From explosive starts to powerful finishes, discover how these races tell one story of Jamaican dominance.
4x100 relay bronze winning team here in Doha 2 years ago in two. There is Sha'Carri, 32 years old now, Olympic and world long jump silver. Got a great start in Gateshead last weekend in the pouring rain, but then faded to 5th in 11:57, but she'll be much more suited, I'm sure, to the warm conditions here. Marie-Josée also performed very well indeed, came ahead of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who's just to her right, to finish in 3rd last weekend, world bronze here 2 years ago in the 100 meters. Talu then, all the experience goes in lane 4. There is Fraser-Pryce, 34 years old now, multiple Olympic and world champion, including the reigning world champion from here 2 years ago, aiming to become the first mother to win an Olympic title in Tokyo in 9 weeks' time. She goes in 5. Javianne Oliver, outstanding indoor season, won the World Indoor Tour, unbeaten inside. She was 6th in Gateshead last weekend. She goes in 6. Hannah Cunliffe in 7, former NCAA indoor champion, based in Florida. She goes in 7. And completing the lineup, Isla Del Ponte from Switzerland, the newly crowned European indoor champion, part of that excellent group based in Papendal with Laura Muley, the likes of Femke Bol and Nika Klaver. So Del Ponte in 8, Sha'Carri in 3, Talu in 4, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, whose biggest motivation, she said, this year is perhaps not retaining her Olympic title, but to go sub 10.7. That is a big deal, she says, for the rest of her career. So the lineup again: Al-Shamari in 1 from Kuwait, Parker, USA in 2, Sha'Carri, the Nigerian, the tall figure, goes in 3, Talu, the diminutive Ivorian, in 4, Fraser-Pryce, there she is with the headband, in 5, Oliver, USA 6, Cunliffe, USA 7, Del Ponte, Switzerland, in lane 8. Women's 100 meters. Well, once again, Sha'Carri gets a good start, but Fraser-Pryce already into her running along with Talu. Also going well is Oliver, but Fraser-Pryce coming away with it. Fraser-Pryce lights out into the line. Fraser-Pryce with a slight tailwind, 10.84, the winning time. Well, that's progress, and of course, a completely different race, totally different conditions. And having laboured to 11:57 last weekend in the driving rain in the northeast of England, well, you could say normal service resumed here. A season's best for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. 9 weeks to go until the Olympic Games in Tokyo, and I'm sure she'll say little steps, baby steps, stepping stones, preparation, and that will feel good. Sha'Carri coming in 2nd place and continuing her excellent start to the season. But victory there for the double Olympic champion.
Yeah, very impressive indeed. And I actually had the chance to interview her in Gateshead about the season ahead, and we talked about the fact she'd missed last year because Olympics. She had such a good 2019. What a good start here again tonight. And it's that platform of consistency which gave her that World Championship in 2019. 11 times. It was her best year ever for running under 11 seconds in 2019. 11 sub-11 second performances, and here we are early, as you said, Chris, still fairly early in the season. Gateshead wasn't the place to do it, but a scintillating run here from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. 34, mum, all of that sort of thing going on, but is still going to be right up there. Let no one have any doubt whatsoever. As good as Dina Asher-Smith was, as good as Sha'Carri Richardson is looking, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and of course, let's not forget Elaine Thompson. Sha'Carri is in the mix, but she keeps running like this, starting like this, consistency. She can pop that. She's talked about sub 10.7, and who knows, that's what it might need come Tokyo, because they're all running quick. I'm sure they're all... Looks like a spaceship landed, doesn't it, in the background there. Looks fabulous. I'm sure it will be when it's finished. Women's 100 meters, Deja Stevens goes in lane 1, the 30-year-old. Don't get to see her too often on the Diamond League circuit. Free Rizzo, the Australian, and like the South Africans, already had a big season, equalled her personal best in Perth at the Australian Championships, where she finished third. And again, a couple of Americans we don't see loads of necessarily, but Cabrera Sturgis is going to be in lane 3. Is in pretty good form, 10.98. That's her quickest for 3 years. That was in the States earlier this month. And then Celera Barnes had a great indoor season last year. She was actually third in the Diamond League in Doha at the beginning of last season, looking to get the Diamond League season off to a good start here. Won the national championships at 60 meters indoors, so no doubt Barnes will get out quickly. Not sure what to expect from Shericka Jackson, the great world champion. Not sure she's yet in the sort of form where we haven't seen her over 100 meters yet this season. As such, was second in the Diamond League in China over 200. And then Zoe Hobbs, we've got 3 or 4 people here who are at the World Indoors. Zoe Hobbs, one of them, the New Zealander, was 6th in the final there. Again, had a very good indoor season. Maya McCoy, well, she took a chance, won the kind of international race in Doha before the Diamond League. Then we had a withdrawal, and she had got to race twice there, and is in good form. It says Liberia. I'm told, I think that she's going to go back to running for the USA, or wants to. She accepted the chance to run for Liberia, but now wants to go back on that, getting close to 11 seconds. Now, Jaisha Sears, watch out for her. Again, another great indoor runner. Sadly, injury last year after running 10.77 early in the year meant that we didn't see the best of her for the rest of 24. And then Rani Rosius of Belgium in lane 9. So the quick starters, you've got Sears in 8. Can she turn that into a big 100 meters here? Zoe Hobbs gets out quickly as well. Barnes the same. What are we going to see from Shericka Jackson right in the middle? The biggest name in this 100 meters, but is she going to be quick enough at this stage of her season? And what about McCoy? New name on the circuit to many, and her chance to show what she can do in this sort of company. So Jackson right in the middle in lane 5. Barnes and Sturgis are the 2 Americans in 4 and 3 next to her. Hobbs in the yellow, then McCoy, Jaisha Sears and Rosius closest to the camera. Women's 100 meters.
Sir.
Oh, a really good start from Barnes, and Sturgis got away quickly as well, and these two with half yard, although Barnes is beginning to go back. Shericka Jackson coming through the middle. Jaisha Sears is going to be close as well. It's going to be tight on the line. Jackson might just get there. She does. McCoy storms through for second. Well, we said we weren't sure what to expect from Shericka Jackson, and it's good to see. We want our big stars coming and running well. She doesn't look too happy, does she? But that was an emphatic win in the end. Not super quick. It's a warm evening here and a little breeze behind the sprinters, but 11.04, a good start for Jackson. 2 or 3 others got out of the blocks better, but by 50 meters she was certainly co-leading and then went on to take it, Tim.
Yeah, she did. I mean, actually a brilliant start, and you called it, from Celera Barnes. Look there in the headband, 4th from right, but it's almost like she started, just lost her rhythm there, and the power of Shericka Jackson, she carried on accelerating. They hit their top speed at around 70 meters, these sprinters. She just holds her form there. Look at that really symmetrical, beautiful looking balance. Coming through strongly on the near side, McCoy in the all black does well there, just easing out Jaisha Sears, who takes a 3rd spot, a season's best for her, the same as the winner, Shericka Jackson. But yeah, Shericka Jackson very, very sober, Steve. I think she probably knows full well that there's a bigger fish to be caught later in the season, much, much bigger fish.
The 2 races, separated by years but united by Jamaican sprinting excellence, offer a compelling comparison of dominance, timing, and competitive context. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's victory in Doha and Shericka Jackson's triumph in Rabat are not just wins on paper. They represent different phases of greatness, different types of pressure, and different statements to the world of athletics. In Doha, Fraser-Pryce delivered a performance that felt like a declaration. Clocking 10.84 seconds just weeks before the Tokyo Olympics, she wasn't simply winning, she was sending a message. This was a moment loaded with expectation. The anticipated clash with Sha'Carri Richardson had already fueled global attention, and even though Richardson withdrew, the weight of that rivalry still lingered over the race. Fraser-Pryce responded like a champion who thrives under pressure. Her start was explosive, arguably the best in the field, and within the first 30 meters, she had already asserted control. What followed was a demonstration of technical perfection: relaxed shoulders, efficient stride frequency, and seamless transition into top speed. Even with strong competitors like Marie-Josée and Javianne pushing behind her, there was never a sense that the race might slip away. In contrast, Shericka Jackson's performance in Rabat carried a different kind of narrative. Her 11.04-second victory was not about peak form. It was about return, resilience, and re-establishing presence. After an injury-disrupted 2024 season that kept her out of the Paris Olympics, Jackson entered Rabat with something to prove, but also with understandable limitations. Unlike Fraser-Pryce in Doha, she wasn't yet in full competitive rhythm. The race itself reflected that. Early on, the Americans, particularly Rabat, showed sharper initial acceleration. Jackson did not dominate from the gun. Instead, her race unfolded progressively. This is where the contrast becomes most interesting. Fraser-Pryce wins races in the first half. Her acceleration phase is her greatest weapon. Jackson, on the other hand, builds her victories in the latter stages. By the 50-meter mark in Rabat, the shift became visible. Her stride opened up, her cadence stabilized, and her top-end speed began to overpower the field. While Fraser-Pryce's Doha run was about control from start to finish, Jackson's Rabat performance was about takeover, gradual, calculated, and ultimately decisive. Another key difference lies in the conditions and context. Doha provided near-ideal sprinting conditions: warm weather, slight tailwind, and a competitive but stable field. It allowed Fraser-Pryce to showcase her full capabilities, especially compared to her previous outing in cold and wet Gateshead. Rabat, however, functioned more as an early-season test. Jackson's time of 11.04 reflects that. It's not a peak performance, but a foundation. The importance of that race lies less in the clock and more in the signal. She is back, and she is still capable of winning at the highest level. Psychologically, the two races also tell different stories. Fraser-Pryce entered Doha as a proven legend, reinforcing her status ahead of a major championship. Confidence was not in question. It was about execution. Jackson entered Rabat in a rebuilding phase, where confidence had to be rediscovered through competition. Winning in that context carries a different kind of weight. It's not about confirming greatness, but about reigniting it. Ultimately, both performances highlight the depth of Jamaican sprinting dominance, but they do so through different lenses. Fraser-Pryce's 10.84 in Doha represents mastery, an athlete operating at near perfection, controlling every phase of the race with authority. Jackson's 11.04 in Rabat represents resurgence, a powerful reminder that even after setbacks, elite sprinters can return and reassert themselves. Together, these races form a narrative of continuity. One legend at her peak, another champion rebuilding her path, both united by the same flag, the same discipline, and the same relentless pursuit of speed.